We are the cure.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I have now shared, I believe. Okay, I'm excited to have this conversation
Okay, let's go ahead
with
and
you
dive into
all.
it, Dr. Bailey.
I'm sorry, say it again.
You want to go ahead and just dive into it? I think we got enough viewers looking at us, at our beautiful faces on this afternoon. Hello, happy Sickle Cell Awareness Month, everybody. Woohoo! I've been seeing a lot of you sharing some amazing events and all of the things you're doing for this month. We are so proud of this community. Thank you for showing up and showing out. You guys are really making sure that people know about sickle cell this month, and that is amazing. So thank you, thank you, thank you for that. If you have any events that you want us to share, please post it in the link below or send me a message. But today we're having what we call a community conversation with Dr. Lakia Bailey. And today we have a special guest, which is Mr. Rod Gunn
Hello,
from Be the
everyone.
Match.
Okay. Well, I'm very excited to have this conversation with you all to review and discuss how important it is, all the cool things happening in the community, how important this project is that I'm excited we're doing with Rod Gunn and Be the Match. Pull my notes back up. I'm ready to get started whenever you are. Just let me
Yes,
know.
ma'am. We're ready.
Okay, well, hi there. Thank you for joining us. I am Dr. Lakia Bailey, and I am the one of the founders and the executive director of the Sickle Cell Consortium, or Sickle Cell Community Consortium, SC3. And I'm excited to be here to talk with you all. Sharonda?
Had to get my unmute button to operate with me. Hi, guys. I'm Sharonda, and I am the Director of Media Marketing at the Sickle Cell Consortium. And I am super, super honored and glad to be here today. And we have a special guest, Mr. Rod Gunn. Mr. Rod, if you can let everyone know where you're from and who you're with.
Of course, my name is Rod Gunn. I'm the partnership manager with Be the Match, operated by the National Marrow Program, and I am based out of Atlanta, Georgia.
Woohoo!
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Mr. Gunn. We worked with Rod several times now. We've done so many cool projects at Be the Match, from a project we did some time ago where we just visited libraries. We went to public libraries all throughout Atlanta, and we had our Be the Match materials and sickle cell information. And it was really fun. The particular crowd you get at public libraries was amazing. And that was a lot of fun. Children, the very young and the very old, is who you end up with at public libraries. And so that was fantastic. We've done, I think, other projects too. We've done a few things at Be the
Correct.
Match. And so that library one popped in my mind recently because that was really, really fun. And we were invited to come to more libraries in other counties and other states. And so I think that'd be really cool when the world opens up and we're free to travel again to pick that back up and pick that tour back up. Um, but now we are, for Sickle Cell Awareness Month, we have launched a particular project we have named We Are the Cure. And this whole initiative is focused on the fact that in the Black community, and we're going to talk more about this, we need more donors. And the reality is that we are the cure that we seek. Within our population, there are people who have the potential to be someone else's happy ever after, to be their happy ending. The donor, the possibility that you might match someone. What would you do? What wouldn't you do for your mom, your sister, your brother if they needed this? Can you imagine what it would be like for you to be able to provide that for someone else? So this whole project is based on this concept that we are the cure that we're seeking. And so for Sickle Cell Awareness Month, we're really excited to partner with Be the Match and to present and to push forward and to help get more donors in the registry so that collectively we can save so many more lives. As you all know, all of September is Sickle Cell Awareness. So there's so much stuff happening all this month. A lot of fun things, lots of cool projects, lots of everyone has all these different events and things happening. Today was the therapeutics conference, I believe. Tomorrow might be the global genes. And then, of course, we know Cayenne Wellness is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so we're just super excited to kind of slide in here with the We Are the Cure. And I'd like to turn it over to Rod, Mr. Gunn, to really tell us a little bit more about Be the Match and why this is so important. And we'll go into the project itself.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Bailey. Be the Match, we are the nation's marrow donor registry, and we exist to help patients who suffer from blood disorders like sickle cell anemia find a matching donor so that they can be cured of their disease. And before I go on, I just want to say we don't know what we don't know. And most people don't know that a blood stem cell marrow transplant can cure sickle cell anemia. Most people don't know that blood cancers such as leukemia and lymphoma and 70 other blood cancers or blood related disorders can be cured by a blood stem cell transplant. But first, it takes a matching donor, and 70% of patients will not match a family member. So they rely on Be the Match, the world's largest and most diverse marrow donor registry, in hopes of finding a matching donor. But it's very difficult if you are Black because one, Blacks only make up 4% of a registry of 22 million people. As a result, Black patients only stand a 23% chance of finding a matching donor, whereas our Caucasian counterparts can find a matching donor 77% at a time. So we are aiming to disrupt the disparity and give Black patients better opportunities of finding matching donors. And so that's why we're partnering with the Sickle Cell Consortium to help increase that number of Blacks on the registry.
Thank you so much, Rod. It's just so shocking to hear those numbers and to see how low it is, the chances of being a Black person and needing a donor and finding a donor through a registry like this compared to Caucasian, for example. I think you just said 77%.
That's correct.
Wow. That's a huge disparity there. And it's a
Yes,
disparity that we can address. It's one that we can directly grab in our hands and change. As long we just need more people in the registry. So
I
maybe let's
agree.
talk a little bit about what that means. Will you tell us a little bit about what it means to enter into the registry and that process?
Okay, well, entering into the registry is simple. If you're between the ages of 18 and 44 in general good health, and you are willing to donate your marrow or blood stem cells to any patient you may match, and I say may because that's a huge and a key word in all of this. Because when you join the registry, you're simply making yourself available to potentially match a patient and donate your marrow or stem cells to that patient. Only one out of every 430 people on the registry would ever be identified as a match. Most of us would never match anyone. So that's why we need more of us. We need millions of us to join the registry in order to disrupt this disparity. And I know most of us don't join the registry because of things we've either seen on television or in the movies, or we've heard about it. And typically we hear about these things from people who, frankly, have never donated before. And one of the common things we associate with being a marrow or blood stem cell donor is pain. And the true fact of the matter is, donating your blood stem cells is very similar to donating plasma or platelets. It's a non surgical outpatient procedure, and your stem cells replenishes themselves within a very short time. A matter of fact, in a few weeks, they fully replenish themselves. The marrow donation, on the other hand, that's the one you hear all the horror stories about. It is considered a surgical procedure. However, there's no cutting. There are no stitches required. The donor is under anesthesia and feel no pain, and a simple bandage covers the needle insertion site. And contrary to popular belief, most donors resume normal activities the very next day.
I think that's so important because there's been certain things that have happened in the media, movies, and TV shows that I think
Correct.
has given people the wrong opinion. And it makes them think that the process of donating marrow is incredibly painful and incredibly difficult. When in reality, a lot of times it can be done peripherally, like you said, like you're donating blood. And for
That's
those that
correct.
need direct marrow, you're under anesthesia. The area is numbed. It's an outpatient procedure. There's no
That's
actual cutting. And
that's
if
correct.
anything, there might be tiny bit of soreness, but most people are able to get right back into their lives, go back the very next day, and to continue with normal activities. And unfortunately, there have been TV shows and episodes of medical dramas that have just made it seem like that's not the process, but in reality, it is. It's so simple, and it's a
It is.
renewable source. If you donate, um, it's not like it's gone. It's not like if you donate a kidney, that kidney is gone and you can never
That is
donate
correct.
again. This is marrow. Your body is constantly making more, just like when you donate blood. And so I think it's so important that people understand how simple that is.
I do. I do too. And I also, if I can add, would like to say, when you think about making yourself available to become a marrow or blood stem cell donor, you have to kind of put yourself in a unselfish mindset. Think about yourself. Think about family members. Although you're born with sickle cell disease, other diseases like leukemia, lymphoma are diseases we could, you know, get anytime in our lives at any age. And what if you had a family member who was diagnosed with a life-threatening blood disease, and their only hope for a cure was a marrow or blood stem cell transplant, and there was not a matching donor in your family? Wouldn't you want enough people who look like you and I to be on the registry to improve our chances of finding that matching donor? I would. And I think that's the way we have to look at it. But again, we don't know what we don't know. And we also have to ask ourselves, why are so many Caucasians on the registry? Do they know something we don't know? Are they willing to take a risk we're not willing to take? And so the key to all of this is education. And I urge everyone to just learn not only how simple it is, but learn about any potential side effects, any potential risks to being a marrow or blood stem cell donor. And I could guarantee everyone out of 15 and a half years of being an employee with the National Marrow Donor Program, the pros definitely outweigh the cons.
Absolutely. And it's just so amazing to me that there are so many people in the world who are willing, because when you enter, it's an anonymous thing. You don't
Correct.
know who you're giving marrow to. Now there's a procedure to each side can decide they would like to know, but for the most part, when a donor is activated, they simply receive a phone call that we've got someone in the registry and you are a match for them. Are you still interested? And so when someone decides that they want to donate and they want to enter into the registry, that doesn't mean they'll ever actually become a donor. And you're really, really lucky if you get that phone call that it's time for you to donate to someone. And you don't necessarily know who that is, just that there's someone whose life you can save. And the fact that there are strangers in the world, complete stranger, willing to save our lives, save my life, is it's a beautiful, beautiful thing to me. For those that are just watching right now, Sharonda, if you'll pull it back up, uh, the process for entering into the registry is for you to text SC3 to 61474, and you'll receive it in the mail. In the mail, you'll get a kit that will ask you to answer some questions and do a cheek swab, and you mail it back in. And that is the simplest way. You can text right now. Anyone on this who's watching this on Facebook can text SC3 to 61474. Answer a few questions and get the kitten mailed to you. And it is that simple to decide or to say, I'm willing to find out if I match anyone. And like Rod said, you may get a call 2 months from now or 2 years from now, or you may never get a call, but you've put yourself in that registry to say, if someone needs my marrow, I will consider it at that point. But right now, I would like to be tested. And that's all you're doing. And that's all you're saying.
And I would like to add, with all our community has been going through over the past few months, with all the civil unrest across the country, we're all, making strides to make changes that'll make a difference, to provide, more equality in our community. This is something we could do for one another without an act of Congress, without the changes of any laws or any policies or any systemic changes. This is something, just a simple signing up and taking a cheek swab that we could do today to save more Black lives.
And I'm so glad you said that, because it's a simple way to put action behind that. Black Lives Matter. It's a
It
very
is.
simple way to put action behind that. Our Black lives matter. And here is a simple thing that I can do to prove that. I can
Right.
enter into this registry. And it is literally, it can be the difference between life and death for many people on that registry. If they're in that registry, if they are looking for a donor, it is because they need a donor and they need it to live. And that's such a good point. That is such a good point. So, Sharonda, if you wanted to say some words and comment, you absolutely could. We were excited. We recognize the consortium recognizes how very important this is. And so we also decided to partner with Be the Match for an opportunity to bring other partners into this and to create a request for proposals that we opened a RFP, and we launched this for individuals to apply to put together a project that they would then launch to also help increase the registry. And so this was our first RFP that we've announced as an organization, the Sickle Cell Consortium, in partnership with Be the Match. And we were able to award 4 different organizations the first RFP. Our awardees are the 1212 Foundation, the Ask One Foundation, Cayenne Wellness, and Cleverly Changing. And these 4 groups, along with the consortium, making 5, are now all actively working to increase registry.
Yes.
And so you can support, and it also helps them bring in more money for their organizations. So you can support, enter a registry, potentially save a life, and also support financially these 4 groups. And you can go to their website pages or reach out to their founders and their board to find out how to support. But one of the simple ways is the same way you can enter the registry. You can text SC3 to the number that was provided, Also, if you want specifically to support one of these, then it's SC3 1212, SC3 Ask One, SC3 CWC, which stands for Cayenne Wellness Center, or SC3 Carley, Carley. And all of that, or just simply SC3 to 61474, and you can enter into the registry. So there's also so first off, we're excited for these 4 groups. They
Yay!
wrote wonderful proposals and they are now actively working to help. And so we want to say congratulations to each of these.
Congratulations!
Congrats,
Congratulations.
congrats.
Woo!
And we're very, very proud of you. We're very, very excited to announce that these groups won this award offered by the consortium in partnership with Be the Match, and they are also now actively recruiting and have projects underway to increase the registry. Now, I know As One did an unboxing on their Facebook channel where they
Yeah, they
showed the
did.
kit and the steps to doing, and you can go and visit their channel, their page, to review that. I believe that Carley has been talking about it on the podcast and different things that she's been doing with Cleverly Changing. And I also heard that Cayenne Wellness will be talking about it and helping and doing recruiting during their event starting Thursday, Friday, and Saturday.
Yep.
So these are all wonderful ways to help support. We also want to answer any questions you have. So if there's anyone that's watching this live that has questions about any of this, about the process, so we do have one question. So please type your questions in and we will be watching. That photo that she keeps pulling up, that's actually me in the hospital. I was in the hospital not that long ago. And that was me. I was just saying, hey guys, everyone, we need a cure. I need a cure. So that's that picture that keeps flashing there. There I am.
There you are.
Just letting people know, friends and family, you might be my cure. And
Yeah.
the best way to find
That's
out
right.
is to enter into this registry.
Oh, absolutely.
And as you all know, sickle cell can be very devastating. And this is one of the few treatment options that we have. We have treatment options, but this is one of the few curative options that are available for us. And so, super, super important. You might be my cure.
Yeah.
And there are others, so many more just like me. And so I just think it's super amazing that it's easy to do it. It's a simple thing. You can go watch the unboxing. It all comes to you. It'll come right in your mail and you mail it right back out. You don't even have to go anywhere to test to see if you are a match.
When I love that part. You don't have to leave your
Yeah.
home. You can sit on your couch, receive. You know how we get those Amazon boxes and we think it's a Christmas gift? This could actually be a gift to someone else. So you guys, it is super important that if you're going to say that Black Lives Matter, this matters. This matters in our community, not only just Black lives, but in the sickle cell community. This matters. Everyone on here knows someone with sickle cell, even if they're not super close to you. And one of the people that's on our live down in our Facebook page, she said that her daughter donated and it was not even a question for her, but they did have that thought that, oh, it's going to be super painful. But she said, no, it was not painful. And that is encouraging. So thank you, Patricia, for sharing that on our Facebook page and letting us know that her daughter did actually donate. And it was one of the best things that ever happened to her and her family. And so she said she slept good Friday night and was already getting back to the house on Saturday. So she went in the first day. So let me go to her whole comment. She says, my daughter donated Marrow. She came to the hospital after going to school on Friday in the morning. Procedure was from 11 a.m. until 2 p.m. She was sore the first day, but was a lot better by 8 o'clock p.m. that night. She slept good all Friday night and was already getting back locked out of the house on Saturday because she was already on the go. She only used hydrocodone the first day. So she was like, she went to school that morning, went to the hospital, gave and helped save somebody's life, and was okay on Saturday. So that is very encouraging, you guys. Like, we thank you for sharing that, Patricia. Like, really thank you for sharing that, because I've seen 7 pounds, and I've seen house. And so when I look at it, at first I was like, I don't know about this. But that's what we're here to talk about tonight, you guys. We're trying to, debunk these myths that it is excruciating pain and you're not going to have to walk. You're not going to be able to walk for 6 months. And, that's not how it is. And so I'm so grateful that Rod is here to talk to us about that. And he actually sent us over some myths and facts that we'll be posting this week, so that you guys can see, the information in print. So that they're not hiding anything from you. Now, Rob, there is one question that people keep asking, and I've got to go ahead and ask the question, which is, will the government take my cells? Will I be, will they track me down because I've given blood or given
Right.
bone marrow?
Yeah, I could tell you that your information is extremely confidential and it's not shared with any third parties, including government and law enforcement. As a matter of fact, when transplant doctors are searching the registry on behalf of their patients, trying to find that match, and when they do locate that match, the only thing they know about the donor is that donor's donor ID number and the donor's tissue type is a match to their patient's tissue type. They have no clue who the donor is. Only Be the Match knows that information, and we protect that information and don't release it to anyone. So when a physician finds a match for their patient, they have to contact Be the Match and say, donor ID number is a
Okay.
match for my patient. Will you reach out to them to see if they are willing to still move forward?
Yeah. Okay. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
and all communication, all of it. Even the physician, they can't say, "Oh, yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Let me ask the donor."
Right,
They have
right.
no clue.
They have no
They
clue.
receive the
No,
cells, and so all of that. Be the Match is not a government entity. Your information is not being registered with the U.S. government or anything like that. It's a nonprofit who works to make sure that those that need matches can get them. And
correct.
it's very, very, and I think that leads us really well into some of the myths and facts. I know we're going to be sharing them, but did you want to pull that up and go over a few of them, Rod? And then we can go from there into some more of these questions, because I have a few here.
Okay,
Um,
are you all going to share the screen?
yeah, you want to pull up your
Okay.
myths and facts?
Oh, and do I have the ability to share?
No, I'm going to pull it up for you.
Are you going to put them up? But sure.
I sure am. Oh, I didn't want to pull it up that way. Hold, please. Yeah, Rod was so gracious to send me over some information that we can use for social media. And so with this information, you guys, we want to really make sure that it's not something that is actual an opinion, but I want it to be some facts, so that you guys know hard facts that, yeah, this Sharon is just not playing with you. I'm not just trying to get you to donate without all the proper information. It's really some good information. And Rod has been so kind enough to make sure that we are that we know about what's going on with this project as well. He's not just saying well, to be honest, they're just truthful. They're not like hiding anything. And I think a lot of people think that when you're doing projects like this, that people are hiding things, and that's not the case here. So I'm so grateful and thankful for that. And here is one of the facts here. So let me see.
And while
Um,
you're bringing that up, I just want to back up what you just said. I've been with this organization for 15 and a half years. And one of the things I would not do is make compromises or sacrifice my Black people for the benefit of any organization. I do this because I know that there are Black patients out there suffering from diseases like sickle cell, can't find a matching donor, know that there are people out there who look like me and could be cured of their disease only if we had enough representation on the registry. That's why I do this. But I would never bring myself to misleading my people to do something that wasn't beneficial to us.
Thank you for that. Yeah, and you have been so straight
Amen.
and
That's
forward with us.
fantastic.
Yeah. Here's one of them, Rod. One of the myths is all donations involve surgery. Can you talk about that?
Yes. 70% of the time, over 70% of the time, the donation is, as I mentioned earlier, is really a non-surgical procedure that's called the peripheral blood stem cell donation, where we could give you an injection of a medication called filgrastim, which is like a natural hormone our body produces. And what filgrastim does is it multiplies the stem cells that are found in your bone marrow and releases those extra stem cells into your bloodstream, which enables us to collect the stem cells through a needle from a vein in your arm, just like a blood donation, and that blood flows through an apheresis machine that'll filter out the stem cells that we need from your blood while at the same time returning your blood back to you. And as I mentioned earlier, you don't lose anything permanently when you donate stem cells. They replenish themselves within a few weeks. So again, over 70% of the time, that is the procedure selected by transplant doctors. It is never up to us as donors to determine which way we want to donate. The doctor makes that decision based on what they feel is best for their patient. And over 70% of the time, PBSC is the procedure they choose. But I don't want to overlook the marrow donation because that's the one that hinders most of us from joining the registry. And
Right.
again, even though it's considered a surgical procedure, it's not what we see in movies like 7 Pounds or television shows like House MD. It is a surgical procedure. However, you're under anesthesia. There's no cutting. There are no stitches required. Needle is inserted into the pelvic bone. We take 1 to 5% of the donor's liquid marrow, and a simple bandage covers the needle insertion site. And contrary to popular belief, most donors resume normal activities the very next day.
Mhm.
And those are the two ways you can donate if you're lucky enough to match someone.
Yeah, that actually was going to be our next question. Well, myth was donating is painful and involves a long recovery. People think that it's going to be super long before they recover. So he just really talked about that. So can you just give us some numbers? How long does it usually take? I know Miss Patricia talked about her daughter being able to give on Friday and was being locked out because she was trying to go outside on Saturday.
Right,
So
right. Most donors recover within 7 days. I mean, a donor can cover up to 7 days. Most recover the very next day.
okay,
Okay, but it can last up. It varies from individual to individual.
got you. Okay. And then our next one that we have, let's see. So this one is donating is dangerous and weakens the donor. Ooh.
No, it is not danger. It's no danger more dangerous than you one just donating blood, or if you went to your doctor and had to give a vial of blood for tests. With any medical procedure, there are can be a limited amount of risk that comes
Right.
with any procedure. But as I mentioned earlier, with the marrow donation, we only collect in 1 to 5% of your liquid marrow. Is never enough to compromise your immune system in any fashion. So it's extremely safe to donate if you're lucky enough to match someone.
And can you talk about the age limit? Well, not limit, but the age for We Are the Cure right now. We're doing the ages from 14, what was it, 18 to
18 to
44?
44.
Yeah, so why is that age range? Is there a specific reason why?
It is. Transplant doctors determine that age group yields the best outcomes for patients. As
Okay.
we age, our body produce less stem cells, which can make transplants less effective. So typically, the younger donors are producing the healthiest stem cells, and which in turn produces the best outcomes for patients. So that's why the age. Now, I do want to clarify, even though the age to join is 18 to 44, we remain on the registry until our 61st birthday.
Oh,
So
wow.
even though, we could pass 44, we'll stay on until we turn 61 because even then we may be someone's, especially in the Black community, we may be someone's only hope at a second chance at life. Whereas Caucasian patients typically have matches, in the 20s, sometimes they may have 100 matches. Where
Oh,
we are
wow.
fortunate if there's one person on the registry who's a match for us, we would be extremely fortunate.
Oh, wow. Yeah, yeah, I didn't know that. So if you guys are listening, know that right now, yes, we are asking people from ages 14 to 44 to donate, but yeah, I
18.
18
mean
to 44.
18 to 44. I don't know why I keep messing up that age, but yeah, so you can text to SC3, text SC3 to 61474. Wow, I didn't know that you stay on the registry that long. And so like if
And it's
Yes.
like
someone
hitting
stays
the
on the,
lottery.
yeah,
Honestly, if you are in there and you match with someone, that you might be that person's only chance, like
yeah,
was just
That's
said,
correct.
for their second cut of life.
I'm
And honestly, if you get that call that morning that you have been activated as a possible, again, you don't have to. At that point, and no one knows who you are, there's nothing you need to be worried about. They won't know, your donor won't know, no one will know. You can still at that point choose, you know what, this isn't, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not comfortable, or I'm pregnant. Anything can be happening. But if you get that call that morning that you have just matched, you should just stop and just go buy a lottery ticket, because you are incredibly lucky that not only are you in the registry, but that you matched. Minorities, Black people, the chances are very, very, Mr. Gunrod said earlier today, it's 1 in 420, which
yeah.
means
sorry.
419 people are never going to get that call. And that 420th has now become that person's only shot.
Wow.
So it's super,
Right.
super amazing to even get that phone call. But right now, what we're asking you to do is just enter your name in there, enter your information, do the cheek swab, just in case you might possibly. But you have a better chance of never getting a call than you do of actually getting one. But imagine that moment when you are that person's option. Somewhere out there in the world, there is someone who's going to save my life, is going to save a whole lot of different
Wow.
people. And the amount of gratitude that we feel in these kind of moments. So you never know, it could be you.
That just kind
And
of hit hard. Go ahead, Mr. Rod.
think about how powerful that is, that there's
Yeah.
someone out there in the world who
Wow.
has the same DNA as you, your DNA twin. And that person is out there, but you can have someone in your family, a sibling. You can have four siblings, and none of them may be a match for you. But
Yeah.
out there, somewhere, you have a DNA twin that you don't know. They don't know you. But if one of you were in need, they could be your life saving match. That's
Wow.
powerful.
It
That is
is.
powerful.
I
That is
think changing
so
our
powerful.
mindset is going to be the biggest thing now, because I know we've run this campaign for a few weeks now, and I think the biggest thing is, when I was talking to my sister about signing up, I was like, the biggest thing is changing your mindset.
It
You,
is.
if we tell people or let people know that this is so powerful, like you are literally able to change someone's life, save somebody's life. And I think when we think about it like that, it hits home. and it makes a difference. I wish somebody
Mm-hmm.
would have, you know, been available and in the registry for my mom, you know, for her life to be changed before she left here. But now that I have the opportunity to have other people join the registry, that's what my goal is now. Like this month is about joining the registry, not just for yourself, but to save somebody's life. Just think about that. With the pandemic going on, you, like he just said, like you have the power to change and transform somebody's life. And that is so powerful. I was looking at Genesis video the other day, and she, like, just her, she hasn't even gotten the transplant yet, and her whole demeanor just changed, and knowing the possibility that today is the day that my life is going to be changed. So I'm sorry,
Right.
I got emotional about that one, but
Right.
it's just amazing because, like, if you shift your mindset, it makes you feel totally different. Then you're like, oh no, yeah, I'm the one. Yes, I'm saving that life today. Yep, that's me.
Yeah.
So if we just kind of shift
Mm-hmm.
our minds in our community, that you could save and help somebody next door, somebody you have no idea, you know, who they are, but your job is, I mean, you are so healthy enough and you're blessed enough to be able to do it. So, okay, I'm going to get off my little soapbox there, but I just, when Dr. Bailey
I,
was talking about it, I was thinking to myself, powerful, like somebody could change somebody's life. Like this is not just giving them money. This money at this
you-
point with somebody that's sick, this is priceless. Like
Let me
what?
elaborate. Let me even elaborate a minute of just how powerful it is. You're actually giving someone a brand new immune system,
Oh yeah,
and their
yeah.
body will begin to produce healthy blood cells from your donated stem cells. And that patient's blood type will change to the donor's blood type.
Wow.
So the patient and donor now have the same immune system. That's just how powerful that donation
Wow.
is.
Goodness gracious. Yeah. Okay. So that would be, if you guys see on our social media, we will have those lines. It's powerful. We will make sure we put that in all of our campaigns because I think just changing the mindset is going to help people.
It is.
The I want to talk about this, unless you have something, Dr. Bailey. There was one myth over here that people were kind of treading on. They're like, do you have to pay to be a
No,
donor?
you do not have to pay to be a donor. There's never any cost to being a donor. First of all, we don't charge you anything to join the registry. We don't charge you anything to, if you're a match a patient and you become a donor. If you had to travel, we're going to cover all travel related expenses and the expenses of a companion to travel
Wow.
with you. If there
Okay.
were any obstacles that could potentially prevent you from moving forward to donate, and if you need dog care, child care, whatever the case may be, we are going to step up and cover that for you. If there were going to be lost wages from your job for you to move, in order for you to move forward to donate, we're going to cover any lost wages. So there is no out of pocket expenses to donate. Be the
Awesome.
And super
match
important that
will cover
that
that all.
piece,
Yeah.
that piece that if you do get that call and you are activated, there's still
Yes,
nothing out of pocket for you.
nothing
I think
at
that's
all.
important. If you
Yes,
have to
we're going
go
to
to another
make,
state, all of
that's
that.
correct.
Hmm.
We're going to remove all obstacles if you want them to be removed. And we're going to make sure we make it as accommodating and as easy for you to move forward to donate and save a life as possible.
Good.
And then can I just take a minute and talk about the other side of that? Be the
Yes.
Match has a lot of things in place for if you are the one receiving the donation as well.
Hmm.
Because Marrow donation can be expensive, but Be
Yes.
the Match has grants and funding, and they have therapists if you need to talk to someone. Be the Match has thought about both sides of that and offers
That's
a
correct.
lot of support for if you're the donor or if you're the one receiving the donation. And so, if you are a warrior out there and this is something that you're starting to think about, talk to your doctor about it. See about finding to see if there's anyone in the registry for you. See if your
Yeah.
family is a match. There's financial support out there that Be the Match offers to help with the expenses of going through this process.
That's
Another
great to
thing,
know.
though, I want to add is if you are not yet 40, you actually can enter into, you can be part of one of these trials. And there's a trial that's happening right now that's looking at long term, how versus with and without be without marrow transplant. And they want to see, how different people in the longer term and how the two groups compare. And if you end up entering, whew, I thought it was a mosquito. They think those things love me. If you end up entering into the that trial, you do have to do so and see if you qualify before the age of 40. And then they'll look for a match. If they can't find one, then you'll be in the other arm of the trial without the marrow. But the trial covers the expenses of everything. Only thing that's
That's
left
correct.
then is if you live too far away from the transplant center, you do have to live within 20 minutes of the transplant center for 100 days. So if you have to be relocated during that time, and that's something that would come out of pocket, Be the Match has grants to help cover those costs. So it's just they've thought about both sides of this. It's a really great partnership we have here because Be the Match is a wonderful organization. So if you're thinking about it, talk to your doctor, but also encourage everyone you know to enter into that registry because the more people are in the registry, the better chance you have of finding a match.
And before I depart, I would like to just encourage anyone who's on this call and who made this decision to text SC3 to 61474 to make sure that you tag SC3 and make sure that you tag Be the Match. And we ask that you challenge someone in your network, family, friends. Don't let this information die here. Share it with others because, again, we don't know what we don't know. And the more of us who are in the know, the better opportunity we have of saving more Black lives.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I like that too. If we can challenge you to also recruit five others, and if all five of them recruit five others or 10, and continue to do this so that we can help save a lot of people. Rod, do you have time for one last question?
I will make time for one last question.
Oh, there was one question that came up with it's not just an age, but there's also a weight. Um, can you comment on the weight range that you must be within to donate?
Yeah, the weight range, it's the BMI, and it's all over because it's such a large range. It's hard, but it's basically based on your height and your weight. It's that body mass index. But let me just say this: um, it's something that we're addressing because we know that Black people we are built differently
Hmm.
than many other racial groups, and so it's not a fair assessment of our body mass. So that's something that's been addressed. And especially in this period of civil unrest, we just thought that that was even one of those systemic things that needed to be
Hmm.
addressed because we are built differently. So it's a possibility that some people at this time could be ineligible because if their height is, their weight is a certain weight for their height, the body mass index would term them as being obese when we know in the Black community that's not something we may consider to be obese. So we are addressing those issues.
That's good to hear. Well, thank
Okay.
you so much for joining us for this hour, for talking and answering all of these questions. Were you going to say something else? Was that it?
I was just going to say it's been a pleasure and I really enjoyed it. And I hope you'll have me back again. Thank you all so much.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for
Absolutely.
joining us. Everyone else, don't leave. We got a couple more things to tell you, but thanks so much, Rod, and we will
You're
see you
more
again.
than welcome, and you all enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you,
You
Rod. We
too.
Thank
appreciate it.
you. You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Bye. All right. So we had Rod Gunn to join us, and he is amazing. super excited that we're able to work with him
Yeah.
and be the match on this project. It's a good project, and it's one of the most important things because it can save so many lives.
Oh
Uh,
my gosh, yes. It's so
uh,
funny because Miss Maria was on here and she actually made a post talking about her husband actually donated Marrow for Jasmine, but she wanted to talk about the fact that it's super easy and people might get a little dizzy or tired, but donators will recuperate very fast. So we have people that have gone through this process. So I just wanted to let you guys know we're not talking out the side of our necks. Like we've researched, we've talked to people, we've even had the bone marrow panel during our anniversary, and we had people that actually gave and then we had people that received, and it was quite an interesting and a very informative panel. And I thought that a lot of people, their questions kind of were really wanting to know about the pain and the money part of it. And I think what Rod just did was just kind of debunk all of those myths. So I really enjoyed his conversation with that. But I wanted to talk to you, Dr. Bailey, because the other
well,
week. Okay.
before you move on, I saw a couple other questions in here. I thought maybe I could try to answer them.
Okay. Was it on
Um,
Facebook?
yes, I
Okay.
saw that someone asked, can a newborn umbilical cord be donated to the registry? And not the way that we have it set up right now. The way it's set up right now, it really is the cheek swab. Now, there are different groups that will store and test umbilical cord for stem cells, but
Mm,
that's not what Be the Match is doing right now. Now, I'll double check and make sure, but I'm pretty sure at the moment that's not the way Be the Match is gathering their donors. Their question, has there been an increase in numbers since partnering and pushing the campaign forward? Yes, there absolutely has been. And so we're excited to see that and excited to see more and
woo,
more people, but we need more and more and more
yes.
because ideally, I would love to see thousands join.
Yes.
Because if one in every 420 is going to be a match, then, we need 42,000 just to get 100. So, no, wait. Yeah. So I'm like, did I do that math right? We've got to increase these numbers big time. And so it's going to be important that more and more, larger and larger, um, as many as humanly possible. And Sharonda has up here the graphic right here of the 22 million that's currently in the registry.
Mhm.
Only 4% of these people are Black.
Wow.
And so we have to change that. We need 42,000 to make sure that at least 100, there's 100 new things. So we've got to really push these numbers
Yeah.
hard. But yes, we have seen numbers increase and we're hoping they will continue to increase. Um, Hello to you all. Hello to Florida. Hello to all these different places. My family is a family of 5 generations with sickle cell trait and one with the disease. Yeah. And let me just use that as a kickoff to just tell everyone, if you have the trait, you can still be a donor because that becomes the difference between the person having the disease and being a trait. And a number of trait people have donated, and that person becomes a trait carrier at that point. So, all these generations of trait, you actually qualify to donate to the one disease if there's a match there, and you can enter into the registry. So, don't forget, just text SC3 to 61474 to get that started. Okay, so you wanted to talk to me about something, Sharonda.
I did. Last week, I believe it was last week, you did a live where you talked about some treatments, and you really inspired me by talking about how warriors are enough, or, you were just telling us and just basically encouraging people to let them know that you are enough. And I wanted you to kind of touch and talk about those two things because even in this pandemic, I think your inspiration and your words will help somebody that's going through some things, but also those that are trying to figure out, what do I do? Like, what other treatment options are there out there for us? And we are working on an end of year video that will compile, all of the things that we have done as a consortium. But we've partnered with a lot of companies and during like events and things, and you have been blessed to be a part of different trials or take different treatments, and I kind of want you to talk about those and just give people a little backstory and talk about what you're on and how you're reacting, like just whatever information you want to give us. Just, but I love how transparent you were on that Facebook Live, and I was like, we need that for our community conversation. So if you can just talk about that for us, that would be great.
Okay. So I remember I talked about a few things. So for drug treatment, FDA approved drug treatment options, currently there are 4 out there for sickle cell disease: hydroxyurea, Indari, and then there's the 2 newest, the GBT and the Novartis one. One is Oxbryta and one is chrysanthemub. That one is an infusion. And those are 4 FDA approved specifically for the treatment of sickle cell. Jadanu XJ, that's an iron chelator for iron overload. Um, and then, of course, we take folic acid, and that one is nutritional, but it helps with the building of new red blood cells. And so each of these treatments, what I was thinking about when I did that live was that I see a lot of people asking questions. So I'm starting this drug, or I'm about to do that, or and has anyone else done it, and what's been your experience? And I was telling people that, you know what, call me. I'm willing to answer questions or come on here and do a community conversation and talk about it. I can even put together a presentation on the different drugs that are available now, what they're meant to do, and my own personal experience with them, because I'm on all of them. Hydroxyurea, just transparent with you all, I was not a responder. I take it, but it doesn't really help me the way that it helps some. Some people, it increases their hemoglobin drastically. It did not affect me that way. But the negative side was that it took my hair out. I'm still on it. So you can see I still have a lot of hair. But when I first started on Hydrea, I lost a lot of hair. I decided that it was worth it. This was just hair. Hair is one of those things that's optional.
Yeah,
When we were created or evolved, whatever you believe, we have 10 fingers because we need those fingers. Your
yeah,
nose, you need your nose. You couldn't cut your ears off without it affecting. Hair is optional.
yeah.
Hair, you can shave this stuff right on off and nothing in your life has to change. So I decided hair wasn't important enough for me to matter
Yeah.
because it's optional. Um, the XJ. I was on XJ at first, and it was, so that is an iron chelator, and it was affecting my hearing, one of the rare side effects. So I started doing the infusions, which was a subcutaneous infusion, but now I'm on Jadanu. Jadanu is the newest version of iron chelator XJ. That's simply a pill. So one was a powder, the next one was an infusion, and now it's sort of evolved to the pill status. And whereas the powder affected my hearing, the pill does not. The pill has been fine, and it has been successful in decreasing my iron count, and it's come down a lot.
Okay.
Iron overload is a very serious complication if you are having blood transfusions. Iron overload can be fatal. So it's important that we look at and take care of and keep track of our iron count. And so I'm on the Jadanu. What else is there? I talked about hydrogen and jade. And of course, folic acid is a simple one. Most of us take it. It actually helps with red cell blood cell, and it doesn't hurt. It's literally just folic acid, like a vitamin. You can think of it. And so the next one is L-glutamine. L-glutamine is Indari. It is literally just an amino acid. I like to put it in fruit smoothie, and personally, I have not had any negative side effects, although I know it has affected some people's like diarrhea, except their stomach until their body got used to it. I had none of those effects, and what I have found is that it gives me more energy. If I put the powder in a smoothie, I have more energy that day. That has been my own personal experience. Then there's the oxybryta and chrysanthemum. something is pushing my hemoglobin up. Most likely it is the oxida. My baseline used to be, and again, just everyone is different. Here's a fun phrase for everyone to memorize, and it is heterogeneity of symptoms. Heterogeneity of symptoms. If you have sickle cell disease, you can line 10 of us up and we all present in 10 different ways. If you have a family with more than one warrior in that family, siblings, both of them present differently. We have a heterogeneity of symptoms in this disease. So you do see people posting on hemoglobin, I need a blood transfusion. My hemoglobin has dropped to 8. Well, for them, that's low. For me, an 8 is fantastic. My baseline has been 7 and 6. And when it drops into the fives is when I consent to a blood transfusion. That's my baseline and my choice. Something that I'm on now has brought my baseline up from 6 to 8. So now I am in that range where that's a good range for me. It's important to just remember it's different for everyone. So don't
Right.
judge that person who's super sick and they're upset because their hemoglobin has dropped to 8,
Right.
because that's low for them. For me, that's fantastic. It takes 2 units of blood to get me to a 9. So for me, I'm happy with that. For them, they are not. It's different for all of us. My body is used to being productive and getting a lot done at a 7. You go to the hospital, anybody else outside of the sickle cell community goes to the hospital and their hemoglobin comes back at 7. That ER doctor is thinking, oh my goodness, what is happening? For me, I'm like, oh, okay, I can work with that. It's different for all of us. Um, do not let anyone tell you, however, that because your hemoglobin is a certain number, you can't be in pain. I don't know where
Mm,
that nonsensical idea came from, but hemoglobin is not an indicator of pain. In fact, there's some evidence that suggests that the higher hemoglobins can be affiliated with more pain. You got a lot more blood in there to do damage. Um, so that's important to note. Okay, I've
yes.
digressed. What else is there? So the chrysanthemum is an infusion. When you first get started, it's every 2 weeks. And then after that, it spreads out to once a month. I did my every 2 weeks, and now I'm at once a month. And I have had no side effects. Nothing negative has come from it. We'll have to see if
Ooh.
it does prevent sickling events. I need time
Okay.
to tell. I have had an admission since I started, but it was early on, so who knows? I can't say, "Oh, yeah, great, this is working for me," and I can't say, "Oh, no, it doesn't work for me." It's too soon to tell. My whole point, though, in bringing all of that up was that I am taking them. I do run the consortium. I am one of the founders and I run this organization, but I'm also a patient, patient first, and I will
Right.
be a patient. This is a big part of my identity. And so as a patient, not Dr. Bailey, but Lakia is taking all of these, and Lakia is happy to share my experience and talk to you all about it. And if there's enough of you that's interested, I'm also willing to put a presentation together to talk about what they do, how they work, what are the side effects, what are the negatives. I'll be happy to go over all of that. What's the method of action or the believed, like with hydroxyurea, we don't actually know specifically, but we do have an idea of what's its method of action and how it is that it's helping. So, Hydrea, just remember that Hydrea started off as a treatment for something else. And it was noticed that people on it had higher hemoglobin. And so they then said, proposed, well, why don't we try this in sickle cell? Hydrea was sort of like a hand me down drug, whereas Indari was created specifically for sickle cell. So there is that difference. So, just as an individual, super happy to share my experiences with anyone that has questions. Maybe they want to put your child on it. If you have and you want to talk about it, I'm happy to do that. Um, so those are the treatments, those are the drugs. Of course, we also know that there's curative options. I am part of the executive committee for Cure SCI. It's NHLBI, stands for Cure Sickle Cell Initiative. And as part of that, I'm in part of several of the subcommittees, the patient subcommittee, the research science subcommittee, and there's just a lot of them. Mental health, there's just a bunch of subcommittees that I'm also part of.
Yes,
And the
you
whole
are.
goal I'm sorry, say it again.
I was saying, yes, you are.
Yeah. And the whole goal there is to find the cure and to make a cure available. And so we actually have brought together some of the top minds in this in this world to work on finding a cure and divided this into what
Ooh.
does this look like? What are the different steps that will lead to a sustainable cure? And the different subcommittees meet and we are pulling it all together. When I first was told about this, they brought a bunch of us advocates to DC and put us in a room and said, here's what we want to do. And I remember thinking that was the most unrealistic thing. They said, we're going to do this and we want to find a cure for sickle cell in 5 to 10 years. And I thought, okay, good luck with that. But then they invited me to be part of the executive committee and being in that room and giving my opinions and they're actually listening.
Yeah.
I am patient on the executive committee, but I made a comment on one of our meetings that actually spurred an entire committee. The United States government has an entire committee dedicated to addressing the concerns I brought up in a comment in one of our meetings. So they're listening and they've brought together all of these different groups and they are really, really working towards making this available for everyone. And it's not just them. There's a lot of different groups that are out there. I'm also part of the governing board of ACEP's EDSC3, Emergency Department Sickle Cell Care Coalition, and I'm part of. There's just so much happening, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people working diligently to change our reality. And my whole main platform is you do this with us, not for us, and
Ooh, yes.
sure that patients and caregivers are part of each of these roundtables and panels and committees and making sure that it's not just the usual suspects, that people that want to be active but haven't had a chance so far. So we've been able to build up all of these different groups. And in that way, we've got things that have sort of risen to the top when it comes to curative. Bone marrow, which we just did an entire hour about, and then there's cell and gene editing and therapies. Those are two different things, gene editing and gene therapy. And so cell and gene editing and therapy and what's happening there. And I know a lot of you know a bunch about it. There was a 60-minute episode that unfortunately, I don't think it handled some of the things right, particularly when it comes to the vector, but there's so much amazing stuff that's going on right now. And so we've got these treatments, these drugs and these options. We have these curative therapies and options, editing and things like that that's happening. And then we've got the natural. There's a lot of stuff that just grows in nature that is very beneficial for us, for the disease. There are which fruits decrease inflammation, which spices can help with anti-sickling, which vegetables and what combination of essential oils can help with pain. All of
Hmm.
that is as important to me, and so making sure that we have that information that's available for us as well is all very, very important. We've got a new project. It's not it's a very old project, but one that stalled. And the project manager wasn't able to continue working, had a lot going on in his family. And so we're brushing that off and bringing that back out to the forefront because that project was meant to come with a publication and a cookbook. And so if we could get those two together and get that out there, it's going to be fantastic.
Yes.
I think that my basic point here is there is hope on the horizon, that a lot of fantastic things are happening, and that we are in a position to see change and to see all these treatment options made available for us. And if there's anything that I'm on or I'm doing that is useful or helpful, or you want to ask me questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Yeah, Dr. Bailey is really transparent, you guys. Like she's when you ask her a question, she's going to answer it. So whether you want to know the answer or not, you're going to get it. So I am so thankful that you are that transparent and giving us an insight on the journey, on your journey, basically. And like she says, she's not just the president and CEO founder of the Sickle Cell Consortium, but she's an actual patient And so all of the hard work, and when you guys we have events and you see her in the hospital, she's not stopping. Like, she's moving forward. And that's the story of a lot of our warriors. They don't stop just because something is going on. And so we commend her, and we are so thankful that she doesn't stop, because without her, you know, we wouldn't be able to do the things that we do, like be a part of this We Are the Cure campaign, and be able to award, like, what we are awarding, you know, these things to our other partners and giving them opportunities that they would not have had otherwise. So, like, this is like really crazy and so surreal to me that we're a part of, you know, big campaigns like this. So thank you for that, Dr. Bailey. And one other thing that I just wanted to end on, you guys, and I know time has been far spent, but I really want this last thing for Dr. Bailey to talk about, and it's I am enough. You are enough. And she spoke about it on her last live on her personal page. And I just thought it was super powerful and very inspiring. So if you can just kind of talk about where that came from, and let's end it on that.
Okay, sure thing. So that was birthed from conversations that I'd been having with other warriors, with caregivers, and what was coming out as a theme that was happening over and over again was our community feeling bad about ourselves, or bad about how much life you feel like you're missing, or how much things aren't. And I just really wanted to express to this community that you are enough. We are enough, exactly who we are. We are not on anyone else's timeline. So I read something that really, it imagine that person that you want to be, that highest self, and then start showing up as her, show up as him to the next meeting. Imagine who that person is, that man, you, that woman that you just most wish to be, and then show up as that person. And I love that, because you are enough.
Yeah.
It is okay. And I was telling a mother, forgive yourself. It is okay if you miss that first day of school, because you're there for the third day. You were there for the 10th. You'll be
Yes.
there for the 112th. It's, you are enough. You are enough exactly as you are. And we are on our own timeline. We might do things very differently than others, but we still get there. And I think that really is where a lot of that was coming from. It's just that, especially our men, we have a very defined definition of what it means to be a man. And this is how you have to be. And these gender roles that are so strict. And you're a man, you have to go to this job and work this many hours and do this. And a lot of times, if you're in a hospital bed, it can affect you. If you're being told that this is what it means to have this gender role, to be defined in this way, and you can't be that, then it can affect the way you feel about yourself. But listen to me, men. You are enough. I have seen your strength. You all are amazing, and we draw so much strength from you. You're enough. And it's okay to have lost that job because they didn't understand that you spent 2 weeks in a hospital bed and couldn't go to work, because you are enough. And that parent that is calling you lazy doesn't understand, will never understand. And that is okay, because you are enough. And I think it's super important. It was actually comments from parents that made me become as transparent as I am now, because, social media is a highlight reel. It's not the behind the scenes. And I would get these comments, and they would bring me, I want to introduce you to my child, my teenager, my young. And it was always somebody young or a teenager. And Dr. Bailey had sickle cell too, but she this, and this. And it's important that people understand. What I heard several times is, I just love the fact that you never gave up. And I had to clarify that, especially in graduate school. They were talking about getting my PhD, and I have doctorate degrees in molecular hematology and regenerative medicine. And they're like, you never gave up. Yes, I did. I gave up every night. I just got over it every morning and put one foot in front of the other and got the day over with. And it's okay. It's all right to say, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to eat these bonbons. I'm going to watch this Netflix, and I will start again tomorrow, next week, next month. That is okay, because we're not on anyone else's timeline. We are exactly who we are meant to be, and who that is enough. And there are, of course, things we recognize about ourselves or things that we want to improve. Maybe we have not had the best responses in relationships. Maybe we can see our own toxic sides of ourselves that we're working to improve. Therapy and praying about it and all the different things and resources that are available to us, we can work to improve ourselves while still recognizing that the core of who you are is sufficient, and it is enough to become more and more that person that you envision. Start showing up as that person, because like I said and said a dozen times just in these last 10 minutes, you're enough. That's it.
Wow. Thank you for that. Thank you for sharing that. Guys, we have been on here for an hour and a half now, giving you some amazing information. And I know someone just asked, will this be available later? Yes, we are going to put it on our YouTube page. So be on the lookout for that. So we will make sure that you have this information. However, I want to end and to ask you guys again, once again, please text SC3 to 61474. If you have your phones right now and you're on the live, please make sure you screenshot this to do it as soon as you're off. We're off of this call, but we're asking that you guys please get involved. Join the registry. It does not mean that you have to donate tomorrow. It does not mean that you have to donate next year, this year. It just means that you may possibly be somebody's donor, and most people won't even get called. But the
Mhm.
fact is, we need more people on the registry that look like us. That's it. Black lives do matter. Sickle cell lives matter. Our lives matter. So if you bring it home and you change your mindset and shift your mindset to understand and know that you could possibly change and save somebody's life, think about it like that. Not that, oh, I got to go through this, I got to text and I got to send this information in. No, you may have the opportunity to change someone's life. So if you would change your mindset like that and you will ask 5 people, we're not asking you to ask 100, 5 people. If you can text 5 people, or if you can share this post 5 times, if you can, tag 5 people on this post, that's all we're asking. 5. If you can give us 5, you have done a great service for us, and we thank you and we appreciate you. For those of you that have not text SC3 to 474, then I'm asking, go ahead and do it today. Thank you so very
Woo,
much. You'll
go
see
ahead and
some
do it right now.
information.
Send
Yeah,
that
right.
text. We'll wait. Go ahead. We'll wait. I have
We're,
a question here. Are donors allowed to get tested for a specific person, or once they volunteer to enter the registry, it has to be open to any and everyone? So when you enter the registry, they're going to test you against everyone, not just your person, because it may very well be that there's more than one in there that you could possibly help.
oh
And so
yeah.
they'll let you know that you matched. And as Rod was saying, it's a little bit different for other races. They may actually end up being told that there's 8, 9, 10 different people who match you. For Black people, if there's anyone at all, it's usually just the one. But they're going to test you against everyone so that you can know and they can know. Actually, they'll ask you first. They'll never even tell the person if you have decided you no longer want to do this. So it's not like somebody will know, oh, there was a person, but they said no, that none of that. But you are going to be tested against everyone in the registry, not just your person. Now, it may very well be if you've got a specific person, like your sister has sickle cell, you can talk to the doctor and tell the doctor and get them started in the bone marrow process, and they can test you, but that's done outside of the registry. Once you're in the registry, it's to look for your person and everybody else. Um,
That's right.
so
I didn't see any other questions.
okay, okay, that was it.
Yeah, I was looking at them. I didn't see anything else. I'm so glad that you guys stayed to listen and be a part. Thank you guys for coming on. Again, text SC3 to 61474. Y'all gonna make me make up a song in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll be texting. But thank
Go
you so
ahead, go
much,
ahead,
Dr.
go ahead.
Bailey.
Send this to 5, 10 people that you know that aren't in the registry. Go send it on to them. Tell them to join. Go ahead. Go ahead. We'll wait. Go ahead. It's important.
Yeah,
It's just so important. And if we
it
could
is.
just flood Be the Match with all these text messages that's coming in, all of them, like, oh my goodness, let's just
Right.
flood them. Let's give them so much to do.
It
It's important to do it. Maybe
is.
we should do like one of these streaming. Jerry Lewis used to do them, and there would be like these streaming. I forgot what they're called, and they'd be all this different entertainment, but they would interrupt every few minutes to say,
Yeah.
all right, 2 people have donated. We need 5 more. And like they would have a goal. Maybe we should do one of those.
Oh, we could do that. Ooh, we sure could do that now. I'm down for events. Yeah.
I think it'd be fun. And we could do it online. We could
Would y'all
interrupt and
come?
do lots of giveaways and do lots of entertainment. Let people come on, do their spoken word, come do some. We could
Yes.
do some pre-recorded education sessions, but like make it fun.
That would
We
be
could
so
play.
fun.
What was that game we played? Family Feud. We could do
Family
that
Feud.
again.
Mm-hmm. Where Dominique was Dominique Harvey.
Yeah. I think we could do something like that and be like, all
I
right, guys,
do.
our goal tonight is 200 people to enter the registry.
Yeah.
And just do it. Do it for hours.
All right,
That
y'all. Y'all know
could
we're
be a lot
gonna
of fun.
y'all know we're gonna do it, right? It's
Yeah,
actually
we should do
happening.
that.
Yeah, we're
And
gonna do
people
it.
who can't, who don't qualify because they're over than 45, then donate. And we can start a fund because it's expensive. Be the
Oh
Match has
yes.
a place, but um, while you're in the hospital for 6 to 8 weeks. Well, 4 to 6 weeks. Maybe we could just have a fund to send you some meals so you can eat more than hospital food. We could start a fund and then enter the registry or cut a check and do a challenge. I think that'd be awesome.
I do too. You see, y'all, this is why. I mean, this is why she's a founder. Brilliance. I'm telling you, brilliance. So y'all know we're doing this, right? It's been said. It is so. Yes, I'm churchy. Yes, and it is so.
And it is so. Well, I think it'll be fun.
I do
A
too.
telethon. Yes, somebody said
Yeah.
it's called a telethon. That's it.
Yep. Telephone
Stephanie,
coming up.
it's okay if you're too old. Share it, share it, share it. And we'll figure out some other way to get you involved.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, so we're gonna have some cool prizes that people can win. Woohoo.
awesome.
I know y'all
Pat is
texting, right?
saying, Pat is saying that once you donate, you have to wait 1 to as many as 3 years. I could see having to wait a year before you donate to the next person, but it would be weird to me that they make you wait 3 years before you can donate again if you have multiple matches. But that's interesting. She said that's what a doctor told her daughter.
Oh
Um,
wow.
so, but you definitely can donate more than once because that has happened. And someone asked if they donate to their own child, can they not donate to others anymore? And no, you can donate to your own child and still donate to other people. But yes, a telethon. We could do like a Zoom-a-thon or something. It'd be fun.
That would be so cool. So yeah, we're doing it. We're
Awesome.
definitely doing it. All right, we're giving you one more chance to text SC3 to 61474. 61474. Go text it. 61474. Thank you guys for joining us. We loved having this conversation.
Oh, this is a good point. So Patricia said that for her, they told her that it was in case her original donor needed a second boost.
Oh.
And if they were willing to do, if she's willing to do that for the original donor, and you can
Mm-hmm.
tell them that you are willing to be available if they need a second boost. And I could see that because they wouldn't want your donor to need a second boost, your person to need a second boost, and you literally just gave so that you can't do it.
Oh,
I could
okay.
see it in that scenario.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they usually look for like 18 months though. So I would think it wouldn't be 3 years, but yeah, maybe. But the whole point, though, that I really want you guys to understand is the chances of having a donor at all is 1 in 420. Ha! 420, 420. But also that um, you can do it more than once. So
Yeah.
if you are super lucky and you have more than one match, you can save multiple lives.
Ah, that is so powerful. You could save multiple lives.
Thank you, Pat, for sharing that information with us. That's good to know.
Yeah.
All right.
Are y'all texting?
Are
I
y'all
can see
texting?
it. I see y'all. I see
Text,
y'all.
text. Go ahead. Go ahead. We'll
Yeah.
wait. Go ahead.
We're waiting. We're waiting for you.
Oh, no, I won't do you like that.
Oh,
If you
y'all.
prefer, though, you can go on your computer and go to join.betamatch.org/SC3.
Mm-hmm.
If you'd rather not text on your phone, you can go and do it online. Again, it's join.betamatch.org/SC3.
Hey, you guys, I have a challenge for y'all real quick. The challenge is everybody in the comments, I want you to tag 5 people. That's all. Just tag 5 people.
Ooh, that's
Sharonda, are you
fun.
going to give away something? Yes, I am. But you got to tag 5 people for this live.
Okay, I'm gonna tag
I'm
5 people.
waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting, waiting, waiting. All you got to do is tag 5 people in this live. This
Fi-
time.
5 people just in general, or 5 people that could be a donor?
5 people that you think would donate. And I'm telling you, some people will surprise you. They'll be like, oh, yeah. And the very people you thought would be like, no, I can't do that for you. So you never know.
Okay,
I'm tagging my 5 people.
I'm tagging mine right now.
Uh-huh. So text SC3 to 61474. Mm-mm-mm-mm. 61474. Mm-mm-mm-mm.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Patricia, your information has been so awesome today. Thank you for sharing.
Okay. Well, I tagged my 5. I win. What do I win?
It's
All
going to
right.
be something cool. I'm not going to hit you guys over the head anymore, but I just want to tell you guys thank you, thank you, thank you for being a part. Thank you for listening. Thank you for participating. Thank you for asking questions. And Dr. Bailey, thank you so much for being transparent and giving us the information that you have. So
Absolutely.
now, one thing I want you guys to take from this live is you are enough.
Yes, you are.
You are enough. And you are so much enough that you should text SC3 to 61474. So thank you guys. But that's all I have for everybody today. Thank you for watching. It's going to be on our YouTube page. I'll cut and paste so you guys won't have to hear me sing my text S3 to 61474 song. But do you have anything else, Dr. Bailey? You have been so amazing. Rod was good too. I love, his explanations and being able to answer those questions and debunk those myths. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was awesome. No, I don't have anything. Although I was just thinking just now, if anybody has an idea on how to do, this is random, but how do you do karaoke online? Like, somebody
Ooh.
tell me how to do that. Like, send me a message or something, because that'd be fun too. Okay, but no, I don't have. I just, you guys, go ahead and send that text. Reach out to me if you have questions about treatment options. If you want me to do a Warrior U outlining the different drugs and what they do and how they work, I'd be happy to. Go ahead and just message me your questions and let us know what it is you want, what kind of content you'd like to see, education or otherwise, what kind of fun
Oh,
things you want to
yeah. That's a
do.
good one.
We can figure out a fun online scavenger hunt. We actually created and have a thing for a murder mystery. We have the script,
That's
the everything
right.
for an online murder mystery. That'd be
That's
fun. But if you guys
right.
have some things from the community that you'd like to see come out, something for us to do, education you'd like us to provide, um, let me know. Let us know.
Yeah.
And go ahead and text SC3 to 61474.
Mm-hmm.
And thank you. Share, because we need numbers. We need people. You're actually saving lives.
Yep.
That's all for me.
Thank you so much. And we're signing off, guys. Thank you so much for listening again to our community conversation. We're going to have lots of these. And it is Sickle Cell Awareness Month. So happy Sickle Cell Awareness Month to all of the warriors, caregivers, and people who love a warrior. So thank you guys and have an amazing, amazing rest of the week. And yeah, we'll be checking for those numbers to see who texts. SC3 to 61474. Have a good one, guys.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right.